Welcome back to this edition of Critical Mass Radio Show. I am your host, Rick Franzi. As promised, Vic Ghai, chairman of the board of Aliantel, is our guest. And I just want to thank and acknowledge our audience, who are mostly CEOs and business owners. Actually, 98% of our audience are CEOs, business owners, and executives. If your firm is interested in reaching these top decision makers, then advertising on Critical Mass Radio Show is the answer. Each month, our sponsors gain valuable exposure through their support of the program. And with our exclusive prospect engagement program, Critical Mass Radio Show delivers 23 warm prospects to each of our platinum advertisers. To learn more, contact Rose Chamora at 951-515-4661. That's 951-515-4661. If you're listening to us live, please hold off calling her for about the next 25 minutes. She's here in the studio with us, and we'd hate to distract her from this interesting interview that I'm about to conduct with Vic Ghai. So, Vic, tell me a little bit about your firm.
So, Richard, let me start by thanking you for the invite and helping me or letting me share my business with the audience.
It's our pleasure.
Coming back to business, so I manage a company called Aliantel. We are primarily engaged in network construction.
Okay.
Which means we build cell sites. In simple words, we build cell site towers, stuff that makes your cell phones work. Business could be broken down into three main categories. One is service and repair, just making sure that your signal is transmitted from one cell site to another without a problem.
Right.
It's all preventive maintenance, making sure no weeds growing in on the cell site, everything is working great. The second and a little more complex category is modifications. This is how we ensure that the cell site has the latest technology. As you know, our industry is going from 3G to 4G to LTE, you name it.
Seems it never stops.
Yeah, it seems to be every year they come with a new acronym.
Right.
And well, it's good because it means more work for us.
Okay.
So that's the second part, and the last but the greatest part of the business is new site constructions.
Okay.
They call it sites, but these simply are these puny little trees or sickly looking trees that are constructed on the side of the roads.
Yes.
Believe it or not, they are receiving your signal, sending it to your loved ones, and making sure that you stay in touch with your family.
How long have you been in this space?
I've only been in this space for 4 years.
Okay.
But my background is telecom. I've been in telecom industry for about 20 years now. I used to run and operate cell phone stores.
Okay. So I'm speaking with Vic Ghai. He is chairman of the board of Aliantel. So that space, the putting in cell towers, to me sounds like it has been a very hot space relative to the ever-increasing demand for cellular service here in Southern California and in North America.
Well, it is, and there are a few reasons why. In fact, it's good that you asked me. Here's what's going on with that industry. For the past few years, ever since Apple launched its first smartphone, and then every other manufacturer followed suit.
Thank you, Mr. Jobs.
Yeah. Consumers are using more and more apps, social media, all these productivity apps, buying stocks, trading stocks. That means your phone is connected to the internet 24/7.
People are probably listening to our interview right now on their smartphones, Vic.
Yeah, real possibility. But that also constrains and constricts the network. For a layman, the more you use it, the smaller the network grows. In other words, if the network has a 25-mile spread and with 100 users, the minute you go to 500 users, the spread is 5 miles. So that being said, there's a mad race to catch up to the demand of users.
Right.
And seems like our telecom companies are losing that race. The more they work, the more the demand grows.
I'll bet that's how they feel too, right?
That's how they
The more
feel.
they spend, the more unhappy their customers are, right? Because their cell service isn't there.
And to make matters
funny.
worse, the regulatory hurdles are getting worse and worse.
Right.
Cities don't want it.
Right.
There's downward pricing pressure. Consumers want to pay less, but they want more for their money.
Okay.
That means they have less profits to invest in this structure, in the infrastructure. So it's go ahead.
In your area, which is the I understand the repair,
Yeah.
but the installation of the cell towers, is that a fragmented space? Are there a lot of small and medium-sized companies, or is there a large firm that dominates it and others kind of fight for share below them? Tell me a little bit about how that sets up.
Well, so that space is, so there are really two aspects to this space. One is very large multinational companies that construct those towers.
Okay.
Those could be viewed as multi-million-dollar projects where it takes erecting a 400 or a 600-foot tower middle of nowhere that has about 15, 20 cell sites on top of it.
Okay.
And has a huge range. So that range is mostly dominated by large companies. Where we come into play is smaller poles.
Okay.
You can say rooftop construction.
Okay. More of a urban.
More of an urban need, and also given the spread of cities, it's very difficult to have one tower, fulfill the need of millions of users. So they need they need these little towers.
And I'm sorry, but as I understood what you said too, a tower that could serve a certain distance, 5 miles for n number of users, when you multiply that, all of a sudden now its reach is shorter, which means you need to put another tower in there then, right?
Absolutely.
So who figures that out? You?
We don't figure that out. Luckily, we are not subject to that need, but the carriers do. The carriers figure that out.
Okay. But one tower serves one carrier? Or does one tower serve the major carriers that we know of?
There is a co-sharing mandate now.
Okay.
If AT&T erects a tower, it cannot refuse Verizon to add their cell site to the tower. They can charge rent, but they have to allow.
Wow, this is like the Wild West in some ways, huh? This cellular industry is still entrepreneur's heaven in a way, isn't it though? Because there's so many business models and opportunities that you can create businesses in.
It is entrepreneur's heaven. Plus it's growing and it's converging at a very rapid pace.
Right.
Before you know it, television, advertising, computers, the advent of tablets, is just creating new growth areas.
This smartphone is a predator, right? How many other devices has it taken out? Whether it be the camera or recorder, I mean, just name them. They're all on the phone now.
A lot more. I mean, it's taken out your watch.
Yes.
Right.
Pedometers. Yeah. I mean, we can sit here and just go back and forth, play brainstorm how many things are inside of a phone now.
It is. And very soon it's going to take out your credit card.
Right.
Yeah.
And then money.
And the money's gone.
It's crazy. All right. We're speaking with Vic Ghai. He is chairman of the board of Aliantel, and I've enjoyed this interview so far. We've got about a minute left before, my producer my engineer just held me up a sign. It said, cell service has taken out kind of terrestrial radio, right? Like I said earlier, people are listening to this interview today on smartphones. They don't need a radio in their car. They can through Bluetooth listen to this interview while they're driving to work or home or something.
Yeah, and I'm very thankful to people using their smartphones because that means more business for me.
Go! That younger generation. Thank you very much. You're a smart entrepreneur. You got in this space 4 years ago, you said, right?
Yeah.
Wow. Did you see... We got 30 seconds. Okay. Did you see something in this space that said, that's where I'm going to go next?
No. It was just a matter of diversification from our core retail business into something else. Wanted to stick in telecom.
Okay.
Saw a lot of people growing in this industry, jumped into it, didn't know anything, learned it the hard way.
Wow.
But I'm here.
It's amazing. That is American entrepreneurship, right? I mean, absolutely. I don't want to put words in your mouth, but the previous business model probably had lived out its usefulness for you as an entrepreneur. I would think that's a challenging business model compared to what you're doing now, and so you saw another place to go. Am I putting words in your mouth?
No, actually, I kept out the business. Just wanted to diversify in another business. Okay,
so you're just looking for the next opportunity in the space.
Absolutely.
Great. Vic Ghai is our guest, and we're going to take our third, and final commercial break. When we come back, we've got a lot more questions to get to, so don't go anywhere, ladies and gentlemen. We'll be back with Vic Ghai after these words from our commercial sponsors.
Smart Business Network is a business-to-business multimedia company providing insight, advice, and strategy for C-level executives of fast growth, middle market, and large companies. One of the nation's largest publishers of local print journals, under the Smart Business name, Smart Business Network publishes 19 regional print editions, presents dozens of large and small-scale business conferences and award programs, and produces a vibrant interactive digital media presence. For more information, visit us at www.sbnonline.com.
S&H Rubber, a manufacturing company in Fullerton, California. We specialize in custom molded, extruded, and stamped rubber parts. If your next job requires a rubber part, we would appreciate the opportunity to quote on it. We serve aerospace, automotive, and many other industries. With many types of rubber, including silicone, EPDM, neoprene, uninitril, and Viton. Our quality system is ISO and AS 9100 approved. Over our 47 years in business, the S&H brand has become known for superior quality, quick turnaround, and competitive pricing. Please check out our website at www.shrubber.com or call 714-525-0277. Let S&H be your sealing solution.
There's something positive about the up. When things are looking good, they're looking up. When someone's on, you cheer them. So how do you move up? Well, when it comes to getting your bachelor's or master's degree, there's one university that stacks up. Brandman University. Brandman is ranked by U.S. News & World Report as one of the nation's top 10 universities for online bachelor's programs. Brandman's online graduate programs, business, and education also receive top honors. So look us up at brandman.edu. Brandman University. Move up.
The future sounds so good.
Yeah.
I can't wait.
All right, here we go.
You're listening to the Critical Mass Radio Show. I'm your host, Rick Franzi, Vic Ghai, futurist. Now, I'm just kidding because he was telling us about the future here on the in the studio between commercials, but it's very interesting. He's actually chairman of the board of Aliantel, is our focused guest. I'd like to thank and acknowledge our listeners who download our radio show as a podcast. You've downloaded over 18,000 episodes during the last 30 days, and we at the program appreciate your continued and growing support. Of course, all of our shows can be heard live on octalkradio.net or rebroadcast anytime from iTunes, Stitcher.com, Spreaker.com. Literally hundreds of middle market companies' websites whose CEOs have been guests on our radio show, and then they put the player on their show so that people can hear the interview, as well as other podcasting services. If you'd like to connect with me on LinkedIn, I'm Richard Franzi. Our Twitter handle is CEO Peer Groups, and you can find us on your favorite podcasting software by typing in Critical Mass Radio Show. All right, Vic, let's talk a little bit about how you assess the needs of your clients. I know you and your firm pride yourself on listening to your clients' goals and providing quality of service at competitive prices. Tell me a little bit about how you assess the needs of your clients.
So let me answer that question in two parts. When I got into this business, we were trying to do everything. We were trying to create scale. Guess what? We realized very quickly that we created nothing. We were not finishing projects on time. We were not providing the quality they needed.
Really?
We were not making money. Is that one of those, the brainwave said, hey, what are we good at?
Okay.
And we realized we're only good at sell-side related work. And if we focus on that, we can make more money, do more work, because we won't make mistakes. We already understand the business.
Interesting.
And we'll make money. So like I told you, the industry has a huge demand, and there's a dearth of construction service providers, or whoever you want to call it. There's not enough people who can build these sites fast enough. What we really do focus on is what we can provide for a customer, which is just on-time delivery, and only related to cell site space. So far, we haven't really had the need to go out and market ourselves.
Really?
People find us, and our only distinguished factor is simple: on-time delivery. We do it by focusing greatly on safety. We just make sure that our people are well trained. When they climb the tower, they don't fall and shut down the project, because if that happens, the project is done.
Right.
It's millions of dollars in damages to our customers. We just focus. It's more of an inward focus, making sure our middle is performing well. They're getting better by the day, and we provide on-time delivery of sites.
It's interesting
Yeah.
how successful entrepreneurs such as yourself, you can do one business model, you make that work, you try a different business industry, same sector, same industry, different sector, you kind of have to figure out, okay, what works in this model, then once you find it,
Absolutely.
you leverage it, right?
Absolutely. It's your core strength you can leverage, nothing else.
Right.
And so far, we just work with the customers
Uh-huh.
who can use that strength, nothing else.
Right. We're talking with Vic Ghai. He is chairman of the board of Aliantel. You know, I'd like to ask you about some of the core values of the firm. Maybe they're similar core values to other enterprises that you've started and run, but share with us the value system that you've built at your firm.
So like I was saying, typically this is it may not sound right, but our value system is, you can say, integrity. It's integrity to our customers. We just make sure that we do not overpromise and underdeliver. We have very clear and very precise conversations with them. We tell them what we can do, what we can't do. It's the safety of employees, because we're in an environment where one accident, it would be the last accident. Right? You're working 50 to 60 feet above surface level.
Not for me.
Yeah, and any accident is largely fatal,
Okay.
or you're done for life.
What's your service area?
The entire Southern California.
So what a good geography to have, I would think. I mean, you have major metropolitan centers up and down.
It's a very good geography.
Look at him.
It's one of the largest markets.
You should watch our YouTube video of this part of the interview, ladies
I
and
would.
gentlemen. He's very happy.
So going back to it, it's just staying staying focused. Just be good at what you do
Right.
and keep it simple.
That's a teachable moment for any entrepreneur in any industry, any segment, any space, right?
It is. It definitely is.
Find your
It's
secret sauce, what you guys do well, and do it. Do more of it,
Stick to it. Just keep on getting better at it.
right?
Yeah.
Because you can always improve.
Always improve.
Because somebody else will come in and take you out on what you think you did well. Yeah. All right. We're talking with Vic Ghai. He's our featured guest here on Critical Mass Radio Show, and I'm your host. So let's talk about your guiding principle. What I mean by that, and I ask many of our guests here on the radio program, of all the things that in your entrepreneurial experience that you've learned and lessons that you've brought with you, what is your philosophy for how you're leading and growing your current firm? We call it your guiding principle, Vic.
That's a loaded question, and if I was to say one thing, I would say never rely on past success. Every day brings a new challenge, and the only way you can stay successful or stay ahead of the curve is by working hard. No matter what you do, it's going to be obsolete tomorrow. If you're not prepared for it, you're done.
I've probably asked that question 400 times. I don't know. I'm pulling that out of there, but it's not less than 350, 400 times. I've not heard that version of a guiding principle yet, to not rest on your past successes, which is why we continue to ask this question on the radio program, because you always surprise me with some insight or idea. Did you learn that from a lesson in your life where you did that, or did you observe others who maybe were doing that? How did you come to this view?
Learn that the hard way.
Okay.
Learned that the hard way. Got into a business which was growing at a very rapid pace. I thought I was doing great, but it was the business that lifted me. Rising tide lifts all boats. So before I knew it, built a modest business.
Okay.
And thought I was invincible. Nothing could touch me. And comes the recession of 2007, 2008. And it just toppled like a set of dominoes. So what followed was a very painful reconstruction.
Right.
And realization, hey, had you been more aware, had you been more humble, had you kept low to the ground, you would have seen it coming. And you know what? We'll never forget that lesson. Never, ever forget that lesson.
And neither should our audience, right? That's part. We believe in the power of peer learning here on Critical Mass Radio Show, Vic, that your experiences translate for other entrepreneurs if they just have the opportunity to learn from you. That's why we have these interviews and ask these type of questions, because there are other entrepreneurs who maybe haven't had that big fall yet. I always worry when I talk to a younger entrepreneur who everything they've touched has worked for them. Because I think, man, sooner or later, you need to fail somewhere before you have too many chips on the table.
You would, and adversity is the only thing that ever teaches you anything in life. Success really doesn't teach you much.
Right. But it's fun, isn't it?
Fun. It is fun. I can look back at it and say it was fun, but it wasn't fun.
Yeah, but success is fun, right?
Success
right now is fun.
Right now it's a lot of fun.
This year is good. The industry is hot. And what's the growth plans for Aliantel? Where are you taking this business, Vic?
So obviously, like any other business, we want to grow, but we are, having been there in the past, we're very careful about our growth prospects. It's to grow this business, you need to hire, and unfortunately, the training is very slow. It takes about 6 to 8 months to train a person to climb towers, to perform the required work, or to meet the quality standards. So obviously, organic growth will take ages. We are just looking for the right fit, a business that has the same values as ours. So culturally, it's not a big challenge to integrate the two.
Right.
And the minute we find it, we'll jump on it, and hopefully we'll meet our goals in the next couple of years. But besides that, we are always interested in adding something new to our business, maybe another service, laying down fiber, or adding T1 service. So that's always the next plan, or a small addition to our business.
So it sounds like you're looking for acquisition targets potentially to help you grow in your target market. Is that?
Yes, that's the most logical growth.
That's the most logical growth.
For us.
Okay. Are you looking to move outside of Southern California geography? I mean, I don't know why you would, right?
No, there's enough business.
Yeah. I want to go to Iowa. Nothing against Iowa. We beam into Iowa. We have very good friends and loyal listeners there, but it doesn't have the population density of Southern California. That's
plus there's no reason. You just make it more difficult.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. If you can keep it all centralized, yes, in Southern
Absolutely.
California. If someone would like to learn more about your firm, how do they find you online, Vic?
They can find me on LinkedIn.
Okay.
They can email me.
And if they want to find you on LinkedIn, how would they find you on LinkedIn?
Vic Ghai.
How do you spell Guy?
Ghai.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. They can email me. You can put my email address out if need be.
All right.
And
do you have a website?
We have a website, aliantel.net.
Okay.
They can find me on Aliantel.
And that's spelled ALIAN?
TEL.
Aliantel.net.
Aliantel.net.
Okay. And if you want his email, we'll put it in the podcast and the information that's in the podcast. You can just, if you're listening to us live, that's where you'll find it. If you're listening to us a podcast, just look at the player. It's already there, right? Time's already passed. Hey, this has been fun. The time has gone by. Nothing but continued success, and maybe we'll have you back if you're open to it in the future, and we can talk more about your industry and what you're doing next.
Thanks, Rick.
All right, Vic Ghai, you are chairman of the board of Aliantel. I want to thank you for being a friend of the program and a part of the critical mass community. I'd like to thank our sponsors, Brandman University, Center Club, Commercial Bank of California, Decision Toolbox, MBN Design, Smart Business Magazine, S&H Rubber, Succession Strategies, Tone Software, and UPS Protection. I need to thank the entire team that helps to make this possible. Paul Roberts, Crystal Nunley, Amanda Pointer, Kathleen Shepard, Asia Celestino, Melissa Pedanti, Rose Chamorro, and Rick Franzi. Like I said, if you want to reach me on LinkedIn, it's Richard Franzi. CEO Peer Groups is our Twitter handle. And on podcasting software, we're Critical Mass Radio Show. Our website is criticalmass4business.com. And until our next show, I hope all of your business decisions will move your company in a positive direction.